Hi everyone! Oh my god, I'm very excited. So welcome everybody to Lazy Saturdays. This is the first episode and first show actually, and this is actually a weekly show that I'm going to do and share with you lots of information for regarding to traveling to Jamaica and everything actually about Jamaica. I'm Neta. I'm the person behind Why Jamaica. I love Jamaica. I'm a passionate, true-hearted passionate to Jamaica, and all the content that I've created is because of my love to this country. And yeah, let's start. So before we start, actually, today we're celebrating a very unique day, which is obviously Bob Marley, Robert Nesta Marley birthday. So he will be, if he was alive, 76 years old, but obviously we're celebrating still, even if he doesn't exist, because his music stays forever and his legacy stays forever. So yeah, so happy Bob Marley Day for everybody. I hope you got your morning meditation with some nice Bob Marley in the background, and make sure that you listen to Bob Marley today, because you know it's a different vibe. And yeah, let's start it. So as I said, the Lazy Saturday is a weekly show that we're going to basically include lots of information and content regarding to Jamaica. Yeah. So sorry about that. So yeah, I am broadcasting live. I don't know if you got to guess from where, but I'm actually broadcasting live from Kaya Herb House in Falmouth, which is a really cool spot if you guys are interested to come and have a beer or have a bud, whatever you want to. So yeah, it's a really cool spot. And that's where I'm going to do all of my live broadcasts for Lazy Saturdays. And I really hope that you guys will stay tuned for the next episode, and that you would find this one interesting as well. So when we're talking about Jamaica, we're going to start from a real basic, and the basic is, how do you actually come to Jamaica? What are the ways that you can travel to Jamaica? So obviously, worldwide, we have two ways, which is air and sea. So regarding to air, Jamaica have actually 3 airports. The most famous one and the one that most tourists would come to is Montego Bay, because it's located next to the all-inclusive area of the hotels, and also people who travel from, I would say, Ocho Rios up to Negril usually choose to land in Montego Bay because of the location and how close it is to the all-inclusive hotels and attraction in the area. By the way, hi to everybody. I'm going to try, if you have any questions also, you can write them down in the comments, and I will definitely try to comment and answer on them. Hopefully, I'll be able to do both and not get confused. So yeah, so we said we have Montego Bay Airport, which is more for touristic passengers, I would say, but also people who's coming from, for any other purpose as well. And the other one is the one in Kingston. So the one in Kingston, I would say it's more for people who come in for business, and the people that are coming to visit in Kingston or to stay in the Blue Mountain area or in Portland, because it's pretty close to the airport. Not that close, but pretty close. And people that, come to Kingston definitely have an agenda. So they're coming to Kingston because they know they want to either explore the music, the culture, but obviously the vibe in Kingston is a town, so it's pretty different from the other rural areas of Jamaica, the countryside, I would say, that you would find more nature spots and stuff like that. And the third one that I don't know if people really know that much is the one that is located in St. Mary, the Ian Fleming International Airport. That's actually a surprising fact. It's only for private airplanes. So if you are interested, or if you have a private jet, Linktr.ee, but if you are coming with a private plane, you're definitely welcome to land over there. Obviously, you have to schedule everything first. But that airport also offers service of flights inside Jamaica. So if you have, God forbid, in any emergency, or you just want to take the adventure and go on a plane ride or whatever, you can definitely contact them and do a plane ride, because it's really nice. And when we're talking about, so these are the air options to come to Jamaica. And when we're talking about sea, actually Jamaica doesn't have any ferry boats. So as far to what I know, Jamaica doesn't really have ferry boat that's traveling from, other islands in the area like Cuba or whatever. But there are lots of yacht clubs, there are lots of ports in Jamaica, and there is obviously a huge industry before COVID of the cruise passengers. So we have several ports, which is in Falmouth, Kingston, Montego Bay, Ocho Rios, Port Royal, Portland, and each one of them accommodates different size of cruise ships, but all of them do accept cruise ships. And also they have a yacht club, so if you are interested to go on a boat ride or a yacht ride to any island in the area or just to do a tour, you definitely can do that, and obviously the cost would be much more higher than getting a ferry boat or anything like that, but it's a different experience. All right, so when we're talking about trip types, so basically Jamaica is, I would say, it's always good to come to Jamaica, even if you're a single person, a couple, or a family. And what I mean by that is that Jamaica really offers activities and any type of attractions to almost any type of travelers, even backpackers. So Jamaica have, attractions for people who come in here for a honeymoon, for families that come in here for a holiday vacation, for backpackers that just want to camp somewhere or hike or explore some caves or explore some waterfalls, people who want to get spoiled and tan and sit down in an all-inclusive hotel. So there are different types of people that would come to Jamaica, but obviously each one of the types of the travelers, you would have attractions, you would have options, you would have lots of activities that you can do, and trust me, you would never get bored. And I definitely recommend people that are also coming to, I would say, all-inclusive or more of the upscale type of vacation to explore as well the nature in Jamaica, because it's definitely unique and not something that you can find anywhere, most likely not from the countries that you're coming from, and it's special to be in those places. So when we're talking about climates, now a lot of people think that Jamaica is always cold, is always hot and very humid, and you're basically pretty right, because Jamaica is pretty humid and it's hot here, but we do have months where it's a bit rainy. Thank God we don't get any hurricanes that actually arrived to Jamaica. It was maybe in the 90s, I think it was a hurricane that arrived to Jamaica and did some damage, but not that serious. But so far, as far to what, we see, all of them kind of either skip through Jamaica, or Jamaica only gets the really strong wind and storm and rain, stuff like that. But thank God, we don't get any damage or any hurricane. So when we're talking about like the months that are pretty rainy, again, it is to come to Jamaica. It's good to come to Jamaica in any time. Hey Kayla! It's good to come to Jamaica in any time of the year, okay? So it's not that you have to come here in the summer months or anything like that. You can come in any time and you can enjoy it anytime. But you should know that there are some times that are a bit wet, and we call it rainy showers, because what happens is you might wake up in the morning, it would be raining, and then in the afternoon the sun would come out and everything would be perfect again, and you can go on the street or do whatever you want to do, go on the beach or whatever. So even when it's raining in Jamaica, it's not most of the places, yeah? Don't take my word, because there are places that are more rainier in the mountains or in places like in Portland, where sometimes it rains for days. But it's overall, it's not rains that last through the whole day and would destroy your plans or anything like that. So even on rainy days, you can definitely spend your time here and have a really good time. So when we're talking about rainy seasons, so from May to June and then September to November, these are the rainy seasons. And the hurricane season is actually from June to November. So these are the months that's not that recommended to travel to Jamaica, mainly because also the flights to Jamaica, the planes and what they have to go through to reach to Jamaica. But it's still not that bad. From experience, I've been here for really long time, a whole year for sure. So it's not that bad even in hurricane season. And it does say that, from December to March, it's pretty much cold wind coming. Like, these are the wintry months in areas like in Miami or the States or whatever. So we do get cold winds. Like recently we had really cold nights here and rain and stuff like that. But again, then during the day, the sun comes out and everything is nice. So we can still enjoy. And so the dry times that are completely hot and humid and the best time to get a tan on the beach would be July to August, and also kind of like December to April. But again, remember that you still have a little bit of cold between December to March. So yeah, so it's not, I hope I didn't make it too complicated, but in the end of the day, the regular summer months that you know from July to August would be always the hot months, the hottest months in Jamaica. And the one thing that I can definitely recommend to everybody that is traveling to Jamaica is to be aware that the sun here is hot because of the, I don't know if you know it, but because of the location of the country is really close to the equator, so actually the sun hits really hard on the island, and that's why we get the sun heat so strong. But it is a good thing. Obviously, it makes a lot of good things in Jamaica if we're talking about the agriculture and whatever. But a must thing that you must know and you must bring with you or get it when you're here in Jamaica is a rug. So people use face towels on a regular basis. They carry it in their bag. They use it to wipe off their face. And yeah, I mean, it's a normal thing. You shouldn't be ashamed or feel in any way if you are sweating. It's not like in modern countries, well, not Western countries, sorry. Where people are like, oh my God, I'm sweating. And I was like, okay, it's a regular thing in Jamaica. You're sweating, you have your rag, you wipe off your face and everything good. So, so just feel free to be who you are and you know, travel as you want to in Jamaica. So one of the things that is probably a big mystery to a lot of people is the language of Jamaica. So actually in Jamaica, the official language, the official language in Jamaica is actually English, surprisingly. But the spoken language is Patois, Patios, which is a Creole language that was created from back in those days of slavery, the combination between the colonizer languages to the African languages, obviously, that the people had brought with them from Africa. So that was created from there. And Patois is really not, I'm going to do a whole episode on Patois, okay? But it's not English. People like to call it broken English. It's not English. It's a language by itself. It needs recognition. Again, I can do a whole episode about it, but yeah, in the end of the day, Patois is the spoken language, but Jamaicans are very strict, and even in, for example, schools, children are not allowed to speak Patois. You have to speak English, and they actually teach as a mandatory. Most of the schools actually teach English and Spanish. So people have a really good knowledge of English. So if you have any issues, or you have any struggles or whatever, as long as you know English and you're coming to Jamaica, trust me, you will be good, you know? And people are very welcoming and nice. And also when they see tourists, they definitely, obviously, if you look like a tourist, if you look different, or if you know, the way you behave in the country, you can definitely see if you are from the country or a tourist. People will treat you and will talk to you directly in English. So you will have the opportunity to ask them if they can teach you Patois, or if you want to learn some phrases or whatever, but they will make it very accessible for you to communicate with them, and you shouldn't have no problem communicating with Jamaicans because they definitely know English. They would use Patois maybe when they speak in between themselves, or, you know, anything like that. But yeah, it's not really an issue. If you know English, you're good. And overall in the world, I think if you know English, you're good. But yeah, if you know English, you're good. And I definitely recommend, you know, to try to learn and capture as much as you can. And I'm not saying it because, you know, it's not like if you know Patois, people will treat you different or anything like that. But for example, if you go and you learn a little bit of the phrases, you know, some of the things, big up, respect, whatever, all of these things, it would be more, in the end of the day, it probably would be more better for you because people will communicate with you more. You will get to know more people, and you will be able to, I don't know, if it's in a market, to bargain about a better price, if it's in a hotel to get better treatment, you know. So you just have to obviously be friendly. Jamaicans are super friendly, super welcoming, and they will do their best for you to feel good. And one thing about Jamaican, they are very proud. So even if you wouldn't want it, they would try to teach you Patois. So I'm sure that people from their experience can say that, you know, I had a driver picking me up in the airport, and, you know, the whole that's basically what they do. They have a huge pride in their country, which makes sense. Trust me, it makes sense. And on the way, they would let you hear music. They would sing for you. They would teach you patois. They would show you the places. It's not like, you know, a regular ride in, I don't know what, looking through the, no, it's, you know, bold, strong, and proud. And this is what Jamaicans are. And that's the beauty of this island. So every person is a personality by themselves. Every person knows how to represent themselves. And every person is very interesting. So I definitely recommend you to communicate as much as you can with locals. That is why probably, you know, I'm depending on your vacation, yeah, but when you're choosing to vacate in anywhere, sometimes it's for purpose of, okay, I want to be isolated or whatever, but in the end of the day, in this world, you're never isolated from nobody, you know, and it is always good to create more contacts, to create more connections, to get to know new cultures, to get to know more people. So yeah, it's a good opportunity to do it. And again, people are very welcoming, and any question that you would want to ask, trust me, people would answer you. Just obviously use your sense and don't ask stupid questions. But yeah, if you ask questions that respect the person in front of you or respect the culture, obviously people will give you the information that you want. And people are very welcoming, and they will want you to know the culture, the Jamaican culture. So, another thing really important about patois is that don't be afraid to ask if you want to learn patois and someone is speaking in front of you, if you are not understanding them or they're speaking too fast, don't be afraid to say, hold on 1 second, slow down. Because one of the things with patois is that it's not super complicated to understand the simple terms that they are using in the street. I'm not talking about the raw patois that people are speaking in the countryside. This is like, even to me as a person who live here and understand the dialect, it's still hard for me to understand certain things. Obviously, I'm not Jamaican. So, yeah, I mean, you can definitely need to ask people to slow down. And when they would slow down, you would catch it. I mean, you would slowly catch the idea of the words and how they pronounce the words. Some, you know, letters are switched from what we know. Instead of ask, they say ax or whatever, stuff like that. But it's not science, obviously. So the basic of it that you would need to know just to travel in Jamaica, you can definitely learn if you would ask a person to either teach you or watch my videos or just, you know, ask people to slow down and explain to you a little bit more. And the beauty about this language, for me at least, is the rhythm of the language. So the rhythm of the language is really unique, and I can definitely say that, you know, when I just started listening to the music, because that's how I was introduced to Jamaica, that's the first thing that catch me. The first thing that catch me is that words just drop on a rhythm that there is no rhythm, but you hear the rhythm, and it just creates this wonderful music, which is actually a language. I don't know, I mean, it's hard to explain it, but on an episode on patois, you will definitely understand it much better. So, for going on to a completely different subject regarding to time zone. So in Jamaica, we're going by the Eastern time zone, and we actually don't have how does it called? Daily saving time, I think. Yeah, daily saving time. So we don't switch the clock any time of the year. And the best thing that we get like about 12 hours of between 11 or 12 hours of sun in the day. So it gives you Wolipa time to tan, Wolipa time to come back. Not like me. Yeah, don't take me. I'm hiding in atheist. I'm not. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, it definitely gives you a lot of time to tan, a lot of time to go about your business, travel around, go to waterfalls, go to wherever you want, attraction, So you have Wolipa time of sun, which is great. So regarding to communication and electronics and stuff like that in Jamaica, when talking about communication, I'm more talking about phones and stuff like that. So it really depends what type of travel you're doing. If you are a backpacker, obviously it would be probably a trip of a little bit more than a week, because most backpackers does stay here for a long time. Most of them even for months. They stay for a month and then they, oh my God, I fall in love with Jamaica, I want to stay more, you know? So yeah, I mean, you can definitely consider to get you a SIM card, and Jamaica have two main networks, which is Digicel and Flow. So those two networks actually provide kind of the same services. I will do also a separate episode about them, the difference between them, and which network is better for which purpose, whatever. But if you are traveling in Jamaica and you're traveling even by yourself or with a friend and you know that you're going to be here for a long time, I definitely recommend you to get a SIM card, because then you would be able to communicate with a lot of locals. And in the end of the day, you have to remember that Wi-Fi in Jamaica exists, but it exists in most business places, certain areas, but it's not open in the streets to everybody. And most business places, you probably would have to enter the business and ask for it or purchase something or whatever. But the access to Wi-Fi is not throughout the island. And also, obviously, you don't have the best reception in certain areas if you're going to really rural areas, because it's in the middle of the mountains. But yeah, I mean, you can definitely choose which network you work based on what you heard or what you choose, and do a SIM card, and then you will be able to communicate with people, call people, and don't need to be hustling and trying to find Wi-Fi and call that. Because obviously people that are also, people do have Wi-Fi and everything, but it's not that accessible like in other countries or the countries that you're coming from. So yeah, you have to take it in consideration. Another thing is that Jamaica is really connected to the world. It's something that it's something that people really do. Like, all right, sometimes when people ask me where is Jamaica, they think it's in Africa. So some people have the knowledge, some people doesn't have knowledge at all when it comes to Jamaica, and it's fine. Obviously, it's fine. It's a small island, but still a lot of people know it around the world. And Jamaica is well connected to the rest of the world. So especially to what's going on in the States, people are well aware of if it's politics or viral stuff or whatever. So don't think that you're coming to a country where people are like, I don't know what, primitive, or don't just live by themselves without no connection to the environment. That's not what's happening. You have whole heap of different types of people like anywhere around the world, and in Jamaica specifically, people are in tune with whatever is happening, and it's pretty necessary when you're living. Like, I got to understand it when I moved here, because when you're living in an island, you have your own culture, you have your own thing, you have your own, whatever is happening in the island, politics of the island, whatever, but there is always going to be an influence from around you, because you are an island, because you are isolated from other people. So people do like to get ideas or to know what's happening around the world, and based on that, take their actions or whatever. So yeah, people are really connected, and don't think you're coming to a place where nobody knows about nothing happening and stuff like that. And again, people have Wi-Fi, have internet, have all of those things. It's just that it most likely would be in business areas and stuff like that, and not in the street like that. When it comes to like what to pack in Jamaica, so yeah, you already heard from me that the weather here is pretty humid and hot. So I always recommend to carry extra of very light fabric, and fabric that, the layer is not too thick, then you won't get really hot. And also something that, would be comfortable, because there are several different types of attractions where, you have a hike, then you're going inside the water, then you check whatever. So make sure that you have like comfortable clothes that you can hike in them, do attractions, or look good, all of these things, but still feel comfortable and be comfortable. I definitely recommend to carry extra bathing suits, extra flip-flop, extra stuff that are related to summer vibes and stuff like that. And it's important because, if you're in Jamaica, you're probably going to be every day, you're going to be at the beach. You need to have your more options and let your stuff dry and whatever. But yeah, you need to be able to change and stuff like that and feel comfortable with yourself. So carry with yourself as many as you can. Another important thing, so as I said, it sometimes it does get cold in certain areas, and sometimes even in the evening it gets cold. So definitely recommended to carry with you like a thin sweatshirt or anything like that you can wear, or even just a set of long clothing. So you would be able to wear them when it gets a little bit chilly, or if you're choosing to do, hikes to the Blue Mountains. So yeah, it's cold. It's really, really cold. You have to wear long pants and hiking shoes and everything. in order to do those things. So don't just think about Jamaica as a place of summer, I'm going with a tank top and that's it. No, it's like you have to carry a little bit from everything probably, but obviously not raincoats or heavy winter coats like in Europe or whatever. Another important thing is that, I mean, it's relevant for now, but it's also a bit not relevant because of COVID, but there are still things happening. So in Jamaica, when we're talking about like nightlife and stuff like that, people do dress up, locals, meaning they love to dress up, and who doesn't like to dress up? I love to dress up. But anyway, yeah, so locals love to dress up, so make sure that you carry with yourself some nice clothing so you would be able to basically enjoy these parties and whatever without feeling, oh my god, I'm underdressed, why do I wear this jeans or whatever. No, you can feel free to really put on a show when you're going out, because people do like to dress up, and part of the way to express yourself is fashion. So you can definitely feel free to do it, and Jamaicans are full of style, full of fashion, and trust me, when you're going to an event, you would see how people are like to the top, people are really, really serious when it comes to clothing, style, everything like that, fresh and clean. All right, so the next point that I want to talk about is cheddar, money. Yes, so when we're talking about money in Jamaica, obviously you know that US currency is accepted in almost everywhere in Jamaica, but guys, if you are real travelers and you want to support this country, I am telling you, I am begging you, so I'm not begging you, but I'm telling you that to the best of this country and also to the best of your pocket, use Jamaican dollar. Obviously, you are a tourist here, you're just here to have fun and whatever, but what do you care? I mean, you don't want to help the economics of Jamaica and make their currency a bit stronger, so use Jamaican currency. Trust me, in the end of the day, if you would use US, you would probably be charged a little bit more. Also, the change that you would get will be in Jamaican dollars, so you end up being with Jamaican dollar anyway. So yeah, I mean, if you choose to tip people, so you always have to take in consideration that people would prefer to get a US, obviously, because the value of it is higher, but you can also choose to give them the same value of it in Jamaican dollar. So it's your choice, but just be aware of that. So as I said, most places, they would accept US. And when it comes to like ATMs, there are ATMs all around the island, in every town, several ones, so you shouldn't be worried. All of them are pretty much accepting, cards like Visa, MasterCard, Xerox, and Plus, and whatever. So almost every type of credit card is acceptable in Jamaica. The only thing I definitely recommend, and it does happen to a lot of tourists, they come to Jamaica, they don't tell their bank that they are traveling to Jamaica, and they come here, they're trying to do any transaction, withdraw, or using their card, and it's blocked or whatever, the transaction doesn't go through because the bank from whatever country they're coming through is blocking the transaction because nobody told them that you're traveling to Jamaica. And they would think, that this is, I don't know, something wrong that's happening with the card, or somebody, whatever, using the card. So make sure, bottom line, make sure that you're telling your bank that you are traveling to Jamaica. It's not such of a popular destination that people just know, oh yeah, he's in, tell them the date, so you would make it, life would be easier for you here. You won't have any issues or anything like that. Nobody wants to stuck nowhere without no cash, right? So just make sure you're good with that. Oh, and by the way, of course, one US, obviously the rate always change, but it's somewhere between 145 to 149 Jamaican dollars. So one US to 149. To think about it when you do your, calculation. Another thing that is really important when we're talking about money is that Jamaica is not a cheap destination to travel to. It's not. It is, I wouldn't say expensive, overrated, or anything like that, but the cost here of doing luxury things or even simple stuff is not minimal at all. And you have to know it, and you have to check the prices before you're traveling to Jamaica, because it's very important. If you're budgeting your trip, you want to know how much you're able to spend on certain things, and be prepared, because a lot of people do come here and they think, oh, it's like India, it's like Thailand, you can get things. So no, that's not the case. one of the reasons that the poverty is so high in Jamaica is that the cost of living here is insane compared to the minimum wage, but that's again for a different episode, but yeah, just to give you an idea, when you're going out to the supermarket and you spend $10, you probably would get maybe 2 or 3 items with it, or that's it, you're not going to, it's really expensive, it's really not a cheap country to travel to. And when you're budgeting to Jamaica, make sure that you are good with whatever budget that you have and you're able to do your attractions. Obviously, there is always options that are cheaper. You can always choose to backpack and camp and do, stuff like that. And then you won't be spending that much money, or volunteer in different places, and then you cut your cost a bit. But it's important to remember that the basic of it, the living in Jamaica, it is pretty high. And again, I will do a separate episode about how to budget your trip and how to basically plan yourself financially when you're in Jamaica, and what is like the average that I would consider as okay to spend in a week and stuff like that. Oh, another thing regarding to money that I wanted to say, kind of like spontaneous. If you are here for a really long time and you realize that you're shopping in the same supermarkets, ask them if they have a membership card. Usually it's free, and every time you buy over there, you actually get points. So maybe in the end of your trip, you get a discount for the amount of times that you bought. So I know a lot of people that stay in the same place. It's either Airbnb or villas or even hostels or whatever, and they go to the same supermarket and buy from there. So yeah, you will be able to get a membership even if you're not local, and definitely get a discount in the end of the day, which is, who doesn't like discounts? Yes, so as I said, US is accepted everywhere, recommended to use Jamaican dollar, and recommended also to bring with you an amount of US cash where you can exchange in the airports. The rate is not the best, but it's also not the worst. So you do have cambios and ATMs where you can withdraw Jamaican currency or US. It depends on which ATM, but they usually says from the outside which currency you can withdraw. So you can use that, but to me, the best tip that I can say is to always bring with you a certain amount of money, US cash, change it in the airport, and then you have that and you're good for the first days, Alright, so when we're talking about safety in Jamaica, I know that a lot of people think immediately about crime, but there's a whole different type of other things that related to safety that I want to discuss about. And by the way, I hope that everybody here is following up and not getting bored. But yeah, I enjoy talking about Jamaica. I hope you guys enjoy listening to me. Anyway, so when we're talking about the safety, obviously water in Jamaica, drinking water from the pipe are mostly water that's coming from spring or rivers, because Jamaica is the land of wood and water. So obviously there is a whole heap of water sources that where we're getting the water in our pipes from. So so you would have fresh water from the spring coming directly to wherever you're staying, and it is completely safe to be drinking from the water pipes. These are purified and filtered, but if you are choosing to drink any mineral water, you would see so many options, because again there is so many springs and water sources, so there are different brands of water that are sold in everywhere, supermarkets, whatever, everywhere. And feel free to drink from the water here, feel free to bathe from the water here. Obviously, if you are choosing to go to a river, those probably would be the most freshest water that you would ever be in. I don't recommend to drink from them, obviously, but if this is running water, maybe you can bathe and shower yourself in them. Water is safe here, so don't be worried. So when we're talking about safety, again, another important thing is our skin, clean skin. Yeah, so one thing that you should know about Jamaica, and I'm still facing, and I don't know if you guys have any tips, you're welcome to write it in the comments, but Mosquitoes, oh boy, man, like mosquitoes eat you. So make sure when you come into Jamaica, it's not throughout the whole day or anything like that. It's usually from the evening time, and certain areas as well doesn't even have any mosquitoes at all. So it really depends where you are. But if you are in an area where there are mosquitoes, please get yourself a good repellent. And when I'm saying a good repellent, the ones that they would sell in the US or whatever country you're coming from probably won't be strong enough to protect you. You can always go to pharmacies in Jamaica. They have several different pharmaceutical repellent that you can choose from. They are much more stronger. They don't really damage your skin. They actually, most of the products in Jamaica are also natural. They are very, very natural. So you can feel free to use repellent and protect your skin as much as possible. Spray yourself before the mosquitoes come so they won't bite you, and wear long clothing when you can if it's not too hot to protect your skin. I see a lot of tourists coming to Jamaica and get lots of bite, and I am one of those people that would scratch until so keep yourself safe. Like, try as much as you can to prevent yourself, because it doesn't feel good and it doesn't look good, and also, another important thing when you're talking about skin is obviously the heat and the sun. So a lot of people, and it's not only in Jamaica, a lot of light-skinned people come to countries with a very strong sun, and they don't realize how much damage it can actually affect on your body. And obviously we all know, I'm not a doctor, but we all know what's the damages that can happen from skin damages with the sun. So guys, make sure that you have a high protection, I would say, sunscreen. You can find them in Jamaica as well, but you can always bring your own, which is in more, forgot the name of it, but there are numbers like 30, 35, 40, whatever, based on how light your skin is or sensitive your skin is. And use it as much as you can. Even if you think the sun won't burn you, trust me, even if you think, oh my God, it rained this morning, put a sunscreen, okay? Put a sunscreen, because the sun is out there all of the time. So skin, we're talking about sunscreen, mosquitoes, repellent. Now the main thing that everybody likes to talk about when it comes to Jamaica, I'm sorry, it just pissed me off a bit, but everybody likes to talk about the crime rate in Jamaica, and for some reason people still believe that the crime rate in Jamaica is something that you should be afraid of or consider if to travel or not to travel or stuff like that. The reality is that the crime rate in Jamaica, and again, I'm not going based on any statistic right now or anything, I'm going based on my experience as a person who lived here for a good while and kind of researched the culture and to its depth. Just like any other country in the world, you would have areas that are a bit more dangerous than others. So if you choose to be in areas that are good, that are tourist friendly, that that don't show any danger to you, then you would be good. But if you choose to go to a garrison right now, or a ghetto, or whatever, without nobody accompanying you, without no local around you, without telling anybody, I'm not saying nothing would happen, but you are putting yourself in a risk because you're in a place that you don't know and nobody knows you as well. So just my best recommendation when it comes to how to stay safe in Jamaica is, first of all, to know that you are safe and nobody will do any harm to you under no circumstances. It doesn't matter if you are in a touristic area or not. You just have to have your common sense and know the right steps. So if you have any doubt in a person, if you have any doubt in wherever you are, just find your way out there. Just find your way, not close to that person. But in the end of the day, it's just like anywhere around the world. You need to know. You need to know what you're doing. I mean, nobody's here going to do you harm with no reason. And just like that, it's not the case. It's not the case where people are getting kidnapped or anything. It's not the case, okay? Jamaicans have their own beef between themselves and different groups and whatever. We're going to talk about it in different episodes, but that's not related to you at all. So when we're talking about crime in Jamaica, a lot of hotels like to use that as a trigger to make people think that the only safe place would be the hotel, which is completely wrong. Obviously, they want it because when they're in the hotel, as more time you spend over there, you would probably spend more money. And it's their interest to make you stay over there. So Don't follow people's saying that, oh, it's unsafe and blah, blah, blah. Wherever you go, trust me, you will be safe. Just obviously make your decision and don't go to places that are, nobody's there, nobody's coming with you or whatever. Make the right step and don't be just all about without thinking a bit ahead. It's a really important thing to remember. And again, I wanted to say from my personal experience, I've been living in Jamaica for so long, for several years. I enjoy it, I love it. Yes, it is true. Thank you, Jazzy. And I've been living here for so long. I never got thank God, I never got any occasion or accident or whatever situation when I felt in any danger. And I've been here by myself alone when I traveled for several months, and I've been here with friends, and I've been here with my partner or whatever. You just have to know what you're doing. So just like that saying, in Rome, act like a Rome. In Jamaica, act like a Jamaican. If you see places that Jamaicans won't go to by themselves, if you see things that Jamaicans don't do, don't decide to do them. Because there is a good enough reason why local people don't do certain things. And you have to be, what are you saying? Garrison is not safe for even locals from there. Yeah, well, it really depends. It really depends where are we talking about, but that's a completely different topic. There are so many different types of areas, different garrison, and different time, because each time of the year can be a whole different story. So I wouldn't recommend. I do recommend to go to places, like Trenchtown, to see, the houses of where Bob Marley grew up and stuff like that. But if you go there, you probably will be with a tour guide. So it's not places where you are in nowhere and you don't know where you're going and whatever. No, that's definitely not a good thing to do. Nowhere around the world, because anywhere you can have danger. Anywhere around the world where you don't know where you are, you can have danger. So wherever you're going, just make the research before. Take with yourself some, map or information, or the best would do to have a guide. But yeah, just make sure that you know where you're going. Don't find yourself in places that nobody is there and you're the only one to yourself. So I don't want to be talking too much about crime like it's important, because obviously to me Jamaica has so much to offer, much more than just talking about crime. And I think that people are sticking into that point because they are, again, trying to make a benefit of whatever they are doing and try to put you in the touristic area so you would maybe spend more money over there or whatever. But in the end of the day, Jamaica is safe. Jamaica is safe. You don't need to be worried about anything. You don't need to be feeling like you're in any danger. And yeah, just know what you're doing and do the right thing. And if you have any doubts, ask people. Like, this is why, locals will be very helpful again. So ask people and they would give you an idea. Is it okay to go over there? Yeah. Even simple stuff like you go into the market and you know that you want to spend this amount of money. Tell them what is reasonable that I can get for this amount of money. Because also a lot of people come to Jamaica in this perception where everybody is trying to rip them off or something like that. I didn't touch it in the point of money or whatever, but yeah, nobody is trying to rip you off in that way, but it's always important to know what is the prices of things. So when you're going to places, even if you're going to the market by yourself or a craft market by yourself, you can always ask locals before you come into the market, what are the things that I can buy in this amount of money, what is reasonable and stuff like that, because it's important to know, it's important to know before and stuff like that, so you'll be able to be on top of things. Yes, so you definitely have to go with locals from the community to know the places and also to know the real story of them, because, I'm a white woman. I'm sitting here and talking about Jamaica, and everything that I have learned is from locals. And I'm trying my best to say what I hear, I would say. I'm not trying to put too much of my interpretation, to just make it more clear and straightforward to people, because in the end of the day, I'm not Jamaican and I would never be. So who knows better than locals? So please do trust locals when it comes to everything. You can ask them. Moving on to the next point. So when we're talking about transportation in Jamaica. So transportation in Jamaica is a whole topic that I also will do a different episode for. But just for you to know kind of briefly that in regarding to transportation inside Jamaica, you have lots of options. If you remember, we started by saying that you have planes if you want to take a plane inside Jamaica. But obviously you have much more comfortable ways of transporting. You can either rent a car, you can choose to use the local taxis, buses, yellow buses, whatever. So again, there is a whole system of transportation in Jamaica that is set and organized, so you can reach anywhere in the island, from wherever you are to anywhere you want to. Depending on which way you will take, it would, be result in how long it would take and stuff like that. Or if you choose to go by yourself or take a taxi that has other persons on it and stuff like that. So again, this requires a whole complete different episode. But in transportation, don't be worried. You would have tons of ways to travel inside the island. If you're in a hotel, tons of taxi drivers that would offer their service, and other excursion companies that tour operator companies that would take you to excursions and stuff like that. So it's definitely something that you shouldn't be worried about, transportation. And when we're talking about car rental, I will also specify a bit that it is available in most places, and I would recommend, if you do have a short time in Jamaica, let's say you have a week and you're on a honeymoon, get a car rental, because it would save you so much time and you would be able to be much more flexible throughout the day and drive wherever you want to drive and enjoy your time better, I guess. Not saying anything about taxi driving, but it's just when you drive the car, you're able to go wherever you want, whenever you want, and you don't need to be considering too late, available, not available. You just drive your own car. So that's about transportation, and again, I will do a complete different episode about it. But I'm reaching down to my last topic for today. Oh, not the dread of you never heard. Sorry guys, it's me. I have a disease. When I hear Jamaican music in the background, I have to sing the lyrics, But it's more Bob Marley birthday today, so we have to Bob Marley Earth Strong today. So we have to sing a bit. So yeah, so we're reaching down to the last point. We're talking about culture and the people of Jamaica. And the main thing that is different between Jamaicans to other countries that I've visited in before or came from is that Jamaicans really love to communicate with people, especially new people. They love to get to know new people. If you're a tourist, even more. And reasoning and talking to each other is still exist here. Like, I know that probably wherever you're coming from, even saying hi or good morning or whatever, it's not such of a regular thing, but in Jamaica it's to that level of you're passing someone in the street, it's pretty unpolite to not say good morning, good evening, whatever. You have to greet people when you go into a business, stuff like that. It comes from a heritage, to me, it comes from a heritage of obviously people that like to communicate and talk with each other and don't see themselves separate from others. So when you're in Jamaica, please don't separate yourself from people. Try as much as you can to communicate with people, and you would see that they would be so interested in your culture. They would be interested to share with you the Jamaican culture and tell you about things, and there is so much to learn, trust me. And I definitely recommend to communicate as much as possible. Be aware that Jamaicans love to be loud and expressive, and when they talk to you, they talk with a lot of energy. So it's not anything of aggression or anything like that, not at all. It's just the way that people express themselves over here. And trust me, it's much more free. Like, you're able to express yourself and say what you have to say without feeling that you're hurting somebody or whatever, because it's just everybody are used to express themselves that way. And another thing that is probably will surprise a lot of people. So, when we're talking about Jamaican Jamaica, sorry, people often consider all of the Jamaicans as that image of that Rasta man smoking a spliff and sitting down with his locks on his head and whatever. So obviously there is a Rasta community in Jamaica, yeah? It exists. There is a Rasta community. It's not that big. The main communities of Jamaica are middle class people, you know, regular people just like you and me, a lot of Christian people. So when you're coming to Jamaica, don't expect to see only people with locks smoking spliff on the road. That's not the reality. You would have different types of groups in the Jamaican society, obviously, like any type of society, and it's not just people that would just say, oh, one love, no, that's not it. You know, people are different, and that's the image that they choose during the years to put on Jamaica, but it's exaggerated and it doesn't really show the reality of Jamaica. So yeah, Jamaica is just like any other country. You have different type of group of people, and don't expect only, oh, everybody is a weed smoker, everybody like reggae. No, that's not it. But that's for a different episode that we're going to do about myth and stereotypes that Jamaican hates, and I hate them as well because they're so untrue. But anyway, yeah, so the main thing that I would want to finish with when talking about Jamaican people is to take the time and be inspired from people. Jamaican people love and appreciate life. And it sounds so simple, but I realize that in other countries, it's not that obvious. So appreciating life and be grateful and be able to celebrate every day of your life is something unique that Jamaican basically mastered. And if you want to learn something about how to really enjoy every bit of your life and feel like you are free of everything around you, but you are free to do your own, learn as much as you can from the Jamaican culture. People here are free in their mind, free to express their opinion, and very comfortable and relaxed and not rushing anywhere, because in the end of the day, this is life, and they live the moment, you know, live the moment and enjoy the moment and experience every moment in life without rushing to the next one. So yeah, that's one of the things that always keeps me inspired when I am living here, is just to see the fact that people are able to enjoy every bit of life. It doesn't matter how much you have or you don't have or whatever. It's about life. It's about what you make out of life and what you make out of what you have. So when you choose to enjoy and celebrate every moment in life, it would be important, it would be happy, it would be an experience. And this is what life, you know, all about. We only live once. So that's it for today. I hope I made it interesting. I hope I didn't talk too much and I kept you guys entertained, which is also important because I don't want to get bored. I want to remind all of you to go to my YouTube page. So how will you find my YouTube page? So in my bio in Why Jamaica, you would click on a Linktree link, and over there you will see different type of sites that I have. So I also have a written blog and other websites that I have, but the Why Jamaica YouTube channel is there on the top, and every week I'm releasing a new episode that is either visiting in a place in Jamaica or whatever, stuff like that, and showing you around virtually. But you know, it's really important to show, to me, it's really important to show areas that people have never been in Jamaica, or type of people that nobody had met, or businesses that people don't know about. So my aim is really to share with you as much as I can from Jamaica, from my experience, and from this beauty of this place. And that's it. I just wish you guys to have a really beautiful weekend. Everybody, have a beautiful weekend. And thanks again for joining to this live. Stay tuned next Saturday again, 11 a.m. Jamaica time, EST. I will be live again with a different topic. So you're going to know that during the week. And yeah, and also expect my episode that's going to be released soon. So stay tuned. Love you guys.